Here with Muhlenberg wrestling coach Shaun Lally. Shaun, thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
I know you're busy right now. This time of year, season's just starting, but wanted to touch base with you. We've never talked before. This is your start of your second season at Muhlenberg. Muhlenberg's in the middle of serious wrestling territory. You have District 11, District 3 on both sides of you. Yet it's languished as a college wrestling program. What did the administration do to get you to take over the program, and what kind of commitment are they making to you to develop the program?
Well, really, all they had to do was open the door. And then, once I walked through and saw all the great things that are going on here, academically, athletically, within the department, the resources that are available to us, and then you kind of said, too, with location, you can start to do stuff within the community and start to pull from certain areas. So, all the things that you're looking for when you're building something or want something successful is here for us.
Okay. So you came from Stony Brook on Long Island, where you created a program. You learned a lot, I'm assuming, going through that creation process. How much of that has helped you hit the ground running here at Muhlenberg? And are there new things along the way that you're dealing with an existing program that are new to you?
Well, I'd like to maintain that one of the biggest things for me is that I've been around great coaching my whole life, and that's really more about who I am and what I do. But what I did at Stony Brook pretty much helped me more than anything else that I've ever done, or I've been around. Only because I was completely invested and did everything from the ground up and made headway, mistakes, and learn from those, and then figured out ways to get around certain roadblocks, and how to accomplish things when you're very limited.
So while you were at Stony Brook, you won the NWCA Best in Brand Award. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing to use that strategy of marketing wrestling at Muhlenberg?
Yeah, so I'm just I'm a big time marketing guy, big time branding guy. I just think it's one of the powerful things that you can do, regardless of what sport you're in, what company you run. If people don't know about you, then they're not going to seek you out, and they're not going to follow you. So we just wanted to let everybody know exactly who we were, what we were doing, and have fun with it too, because the kids enjoy it. This is 2015, about to be into 2016. Technology is constantly changing. Everything is available to us. We live in a fast world, and people want to know what's going on. And if they're not getting it, then they don't have a reason to be invested. So marketing and branding is a very big part of my philosophy.
So can you tell me what your main strategies are right now for branding Muhlenberg College?
Yeah, I want to let everybody know that as a program, what we're doing here is very special. Everybody's bought in here, and we're working towards a common goal. You look at some of the top 25 programs, you look at the top tier programs in our conference, a lot of them are carrying rosters of almost 50 kids. We're not even halfway to that. And just a bunch of other things that they do that we're starting to do or we're going to do, and we're moving in that direction. And, we're all working towards eventually becoming the top team in the conference and one of the top teams in Division III year in and year out. Whereas, some kids just want to go right into a program that's top 25. They might sit for a while. They might have to learn or take some hard lessons. But for people that are here and that are coming here, I mean, it's pretty much, hey, you come in here, you pick up a hammer, and let's start building.
I like the attitude. How would you describe yourself as a coach?
That's a good question. Pretty laid back, pretty down to earth. I try to relate to everybody as much as possible. I've been through a lot. I've been around, very well traveled. I've been around a lot of great coaches, a lot of great programs. I was very fortunate in that aspect and regards. I never accomplished, a lot of the ultimate goals at every level of the sport. But again, I've been around some of the best, and I'm committed to people's personal development. Whether it's a kid that his goal this year is to just get one win because he only wrestled 3 years in high school, I'm committed to that. And if his goal is one, I'm trying to get two. And if somebody's trying to be a conference champion, I'm going to do everything I can to help them get to that goal. Same thing if they're trying to be a national champ, whatever I can do to help somebody develop, not just in wrestling. If somebody's trying to get an internship in New York City, or they're trying to get in a company in California, whatever I can do to help them get to that place, whatever their goals that they set for themselves, as long as they're realistic and they are dedicated to those goals, then I'm all in for my guys. That's the type of coach that I am.
Nice. That's really attractive to young men and women. Having someone in their back, got their back. Can you tell me what your goals are for the team this season?
Yeah. So we want to finish the top half of the Centennial Conference. Last year we took sixth. I think the end of the year before that we were ninth out of 9, and the predictions actually just came out yesterday, and I think they had us at 8th. So, part of me is like, that's a little bit, underrated there. Uh-huh. But at the same time, maybe that's a good thing. We want to have at least one conference champion. We want to send at least one kid to nationals. We want to have multiple academic All-Americans, and we want to win over 500 record. We want to win over 500 matches this year when it comes to duels.
Gotcha. Ambitious. Good luck. Can you tell me what you think are the next steps to take Muhlenberg to the next level? Are there structural things or program things that you want to address to get to be the conference champion?
Well, it's going to take time.
Yep.
Fortunately, you definitely want it to happen sooner than later, and good things always take time, and you see it happening. You think of an egg to the outside world, and people pass by an egg and they just see it there, and it's just an egg sitting there. And from the inside, this chicken is inside and he's incubating and he's growing, and then one day, during his development, he cracks through the shell, and then all of a sudden everybody from the outside world is, oh my God, look, there's a chicken now. All of a sudden there's a breakthrough at the egg, and everybody all of a sudden surround the egg and is wants to know what's going on with this chicken. Granted, it was a big step in the chicken's development. It was bound to happen. It was going to happen. It was happening the whole time from his view, from the inside to the time that he got to the outside. I think that when everything starts to come together, it will look like to people like it just happened all of a sudden or overnight. But we've been going at this day in and day out. We've been working at this for a while now, and we're going to continue to work at this. But the biggest thing is going to be continuing to add the right people to this program. We have the right people here now, and we need to continue to surround those people with more people like themselves that are high academic earners, completely self-motivated, mentally focused, invested. They want to achieve and expect the best of themselves. And if we keep getting more kids like that, then eventually we'll get there.
I love the metaphor. I like that. So you've been around wrestling the majority of your life. What originally attracted you to wrestling when you were a kid?
Well, I actually started in 7th grade. I wrestled. Soccer is my family sport. My father's from Liverpool, and my mom's from Sicily. I grew up in New York City, and I played soccer, basketball, tennis, growing up for each season. Never wanted to go home on the 2 o'clock bus. Always wanted to stay and be part of the team and put the extra in. And in 7th grade, I got cut from the basketball team. Everybody started getting bigger, and I stayed the same size. I was hanging around in the weight room because I wanted to be, after school doing something. And wrestling coach comes in, and he goes, how much do you weigh? I'm like 68 pounds. He's like, the lightest weight class is 70. We need a guy. You're wrestling. I'm like, no, I'm not. He's like, you're wrestling. I'm like, all right, you know what? I don't have anything else to belong to. I'll wrestle. And, gonna quit because I was the littlest guy in practice, and everybody was kind of like DDTing me and picking me up and throwing me, and then somehow he got me to stick with it. And I think the first match I ever wrestled, I pinned a kid in a cement job, and just that electricity of pinning somebody and knowing that it was a fair fight, that me and another person are going to weigh in at the same weight and shake hands, and it's win or lose. And since then, I haven't looked back.
Nice. Cement job, first pin, huh?
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty much the only move I knew that year.
Well, then it's appropriate that you're right. You're still coaching in the Lehigh Valley, since that's where it came from, old Don Roan. So, as a coach, we were talking about this a little bit before, but becoming a college coach is no easy task. Can you tell me a little bit about what drives you? Has it changed from being a wrestler and what you enjoyed, and being a coach and what feeds you? Besides money, or lack of it.
I felt like I was always going to get into coaching. I've always enjoyed seeing people being committed to something and helping with their development. But individual, for me, I never accomplished what I felt like I could have accomplished for whatever reasons. In high school, I was a District 11 runner-up. I lost in the finals.
Uh-huh.
And that's a big thing around here,
Sure.
being on that poster. And then at regionals, I was a regional runner-up. And then at states, I lost in the quarterfinals to Coleman Scott and just checked out mentally and didn't wrestle back. And to get on the wall, you got to be top 8, and I was just short of that. And then in college, I was a consummate backup. I never won a wrestle off. I started matches when somebody got hurt or needed a break and got inserted in, and never got more than X amount of quality start matches to letter. So I never accomplished everything that I wanted to for whatever reasons. I felt like I was always close and right there with everybody. So that kind of still drives me to this day, because you can go in the Parkland wrestling room, you won't see me on the wall, but I was so close to all three of those things. Pittsburgh, same thing. I never made it to the national tournament, and I could have possibly done that maybe somewhere else, or in a different division or school. So that kind of drives me, that I didn't accomplish a lot in the sport, and I'm trying to do that with coaching. But at the same time, I just really love building. I really love being part of a team. I love being part of a program, and I love my job.
That's great. Talking about driving you from not achieving maybe your potential, how does that affect how you how you recruit? Are you looking for guys who may not have fulfilled their potential, or is it just not really affect your recruiting?
So I have no problem recruiting those kids, because I've seen it happen. I think every Division I coach in the country right now is looking for the next Keith Gavin.
Right.
A guy that didn't even win a state title and probably wasn't even the number 1 or 2 guy in that recruiting class, and then ends up being a 2-time finalist, national champ, and world team member. I think a lot of kids don't mature, by the time they graduate high school. I think a lot of kids also aren't exposed to strength and conditioning programs like we have here, or the type of room that we have, not just at Muhlenberg, but college programs everywhere. Every single kid in there is going to be bringing it every single day, whereas some high schools, might not be the beneficiary of having, 10 hammers in the room all the time.
Right.
So sometimes you can see guys come from those types of high school programs, and then all of a sudden they come into this type of program where they have all that, and then they thrive.
Right.
So I really don't care what you do in high school. I ask 2 things. Do you love wrestling, and are you willing to work hard? Because if you can answer those 2 questions wholeheartedly, you'll get better. We'll make you better.
Good. It's a great attitude. Got to love the sport to do better. Shaun, I know we're running a little long on time. Is there anything else you want to tell the Muhlenberg wrestling fans out there?
We love you. We love the support. I mean, we have over 1,000 followers on Facebook. We could use more followers on Twitter at Mules Wrestling. But everybody's been phenomenal, whether it's fundraising, social media, showing up to matches, going to things like Grapple at the Garden and selling out our section and actually needing more tickets.
How many tickets did you get for that event?
Last year we got 150. We sold out. We had to pick up another 50. So we had 200 people come for our section alone. So we plan on doing the same thing this year. We also have a bus that's leaving campus, the Lehigh Valley, at 6:45 the morning of Grapple at the Garden. And for $60, you can get a round-trip coach bus, ticket to Grapple at the Garden, and a Muhlenberg Wrestling T-shirt. We'll bring you up there, drop you off right at Madison Square Garden, watch some wrestling, go get some lunch in the city, get back on the bus, and be back here, before it gets dark.
That's a value. That is a value. Well, good. Well, I look forward to seeing you at Grapple at the Garden, and we'll talk to you soon, Coach.
Before we know it.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me.